If you're hearing this, it's because I finally said yes to letting someone hit record. I've been a park ranger for 12 years, and I've written more incident reports than I can count. But this is the first time I've tried to say this out loud. You asked for true stories, right? Real cases. No campfire bullshit. Okay. Then let's talk about the night something in those woods borrowed the voice of a woman I used to know. Her name was Emma. We trained together. Same academy, same class, same awful cafeteria. For 2 years we worked the same park. Back-to-back shifts, search calls, idiot tourists, everything. She was sharp, funny, and way too curious for her own good. Then one spring she quit, said she was tired of the bureaucracy and wanted to actually live a life outside of a radio and a map. We texted on and off for a while, then less, then not at all. That happens. People drift. I didn't hear her name again for almost 3 years, not until she went missing in my park. It was late September, shoulder season, the kind of cold that bites as soon as the sun drops behind the ridge. I was on the night shift, doing paperwork in the small office we call a station, when the phone rang. Not radio, landline. That already meant trouble. "Dispatch," the voice said. "We've got a missing hiker, solo female, last check-in about 3 hours ago on Blacktail Loop, not back at the trailhead. Car's still in the lot." I asked for the name out of habit. Just another line to fill in a form. "Name on the vehicle registration is Emma Reyes," she said. 33. I remember just staring at the phone for a second too long. "Hello?" dispatch asked. "You there?" "Yeah," I said. "Yeah, I'm here." I looked at the map on the wall. Blacktail Loop. That trail is a 5-hour hike tops if you're taking your time. 3 hours overdue in that terrain is bad. In that temperature, worse. I radioed the duty officer, told him I'd take point on the search. I didn't mention that I knew her. That would have meant paperwork, questions, people getting weird about potential emotional involvement. I didn't want any of that. I just wanted to find her. We mounted a standard response. 2 rangers, 1 volunteer SAR tech, and a K9 team on standby. No helicopters yet. No media. Just us and a half-empty parking lot under a moon that looked like old bone. Blacktail Trailhead is on the north side, near the tree line. By the time we got there, fog was collecting in the low spots. Her car was right where dispatch said it would be. Silver Subaru, a layer of dust suggesting she'd been on the road a while before she got here. The interior was tidy. Empty coffee cup, trail map, a jacket in the back seat. Nothing dramatic. Nothing that screamed panic. I recognized her handwriting on the folded map, though. Same looping way she used to label waypoints when we trained. Emma. We did the usual. Wrote the time on the windshield, placed a note for her in case she returned, checked the logbook at the kiosk. She'd signed in at 10:12 that morning. That gave us a rough window. We hiked in. Blacktail is one of those trails that feels fine in daylight, but at night the trees pack in close and sound does weird things. Our headlamps cut narrow tunnels through the dark, and everything outside those tunnels felt like it was holding its breath. We swept the trail first. No broken branches, no dropped gear, no footprints that looked out of place. Just the packed-down dirt of a popular path. The dog handler radioed to say the wind and ground conditions were fighting scent work, so we shouldn't count on K9 right away. An hour in, my partner Lucas stopped and tilted his head. "You hear that?" he asked. I killed my lamp and listened. At first, all I caught was the hush of trees and distant creek noise. Then, faint and far off, I heard it too. A voice. A woman's voice. Sounded like it was bouncing off the ridge.
"Hello? Anyone there?"
It was the kind of call that rides the edge between normal and wrong. The tone was off. Flat, like someone trying to remember how fear should sound. "Emma? This is Park Ranger Cole. Call out if you can hear me." We froze and waited. No answer. Just the forest closing back in. Lucas frowned. Wind trick, you think? Maybe, I said, but my skin felt too tight. I knew how distant voices warped out here. That hadn't felt like wind. We pushed deeper in, sweeping off trail in a grid. Radio check every 15 minutes, whistles every 5, standard procedure. Nothing. Around 1 a.m., command told us to regroup at a small backcountry cabin about 2 miles in. Old ranger shelter, 4 walls, a cot, a table, and a beat-up radio unit that loves to malfunction when you need it most. We reached it quiet and tired. The air inside smelled like dust and old wood smoke. Lucas checked the stove. I went straight for the radio, flipped through channels, listened for anything from the K9 team. Static. Then dispatch. Then our own chatter bouncing back. I was about to sign off when a different voice crackled through the speaker. Thin, warped, but familiar in a way that made my stomach flip.
Cole? You out here?
I locked eyes with Lucas, tense. That on your channel? I asked. He shook his head. I've got nothing. The cabin unit spat a burst of static, then the voice again, clearer this time.
Cole, it's me. I think I'm lost.
Emma. It was her voice. Same cadence, same slight rasp from too much coffee and too many late nights on patrol. Every hair on my arm stood up. This is Ranger Cole. Emma, if you can hear this, respond with your location. Look for trail markers. Can you see any blazes, signs, anything? Silence. Then, softly.
You always talk too official when you're scared. Did you know that?
She'd said that to me once, years ago, when we got stuck in a lightning storm with 2 hikers who thought thunderhead was a type of mushroom. It was a private joke, something that never made it into any report. Lucas watched me, waiting. Command, did you copy that transmission? Negative, came the reply. Last thing we heard from you was a check-in. You okay out there? I didn't answer right away. The radio clicked once more.
Cole, come off the trail. I can't see you from here.
Then nothing, just the pop and hiss of empty air. Lucas swallowed. That shouldn't be possible. Radios drift, I said automatically, but I didn't believe my own words. We spent the rest of the night expanding the search, calling her name until dawn turned the trees a washed-out gray. No more voice, no sign of her. By morning, the official machine kicked in. More rangers, more volunteers, drones, helicopters, media, statements, maps spread across tables like bloody sheets. I worked Blacktail for 3 days straight. We found a few things. A campfire ring gone cold, an energy bar wrapper, a spot where someone had clearly stopped to sit and think. Nothing we could tie to her with certainty. On day 4, command pulled me off the case. Too close, they said. I didn't argue, but it felt like being cut loose from my own life. The body turned up 7 days after she went missing. 2 rock climbers smelled something off in a ravine about 3 miles from the loop. Official cause of death on the report: exposure and injuries consistent with a fall. Unofficially, the recovery team came back quieter than usual. They said the state of the remains didn't line up cleanly with the timeline. Too much damage too fast. But they weren't willing to write that down. Her family got the bland, careful version. The park did a sanitized press release. Another tragic accident in the wilderness. I went back to work, kind of. On my days off, I found myself driving to Blacktail, hiking parts of it alone, listening for her voice even though I knew how crazy that sounded. Sometimes I'd think I heard something, a word, my name. But it always dissolved when I focused on it. Then, about a month after the search was officially closed, I picked up an overnight shift again. It was a Tuesday, off-season, only 2 cars in the main lot. The station was quiet. I was alone in the office, nursing bad coffee and pretending to fill out equipment logs. Around 2:30 a.m., the radio on the wall crackled to life. Not the handheld on my belt. The old base unit on the desk, the one that had been silent all night.
Cole?
Her voice, exactly as I remembered it. Not static, not warped, just present. Every muscle in my body locked. This is Ranger Cole, identify yourself. A soft laugh came through the speaker.
You really going to make me do this? It's me. You know it's me.
I glanced at the console displays. No incoming ID, no active transmitting units. Every line was clean. Where are you? There was a pause. I could almost imagine her tilting her head like she used to.
Same place you left me. Come on. You can't hear it? The creek, the wind. You always said this park sounded like the ocean at night.
That had been another private line. Something I'd said once on a late patrol when we were both so tired the trees looked like waves. I didn't think. I grabbed my handheld, my flashlight, my keys, logged out of the station with a shaky note and stepped into the cold. The sky was clear, stars sharp and indifferent. I drove to Blacktail on autopilot, tires humming over empty road. Halfway there, my handheld crackled.
Cole?
I'm en route. If this is a prank, it stops now.
No prank. You're the one who keeps pretending this place doesn't keep what it wants.
That wasn't an Emma line. That wasn't a joke she would have made. It sounded off, like something learning how to talk by copying what it heard. I parked at the trailhead. The lot was empty. The air was knife cold. Mist clung low to the ground. The second I stepped onto the trail, my handheld hissed.
Left. Come off the path.
I stopped. Leaves crunched somewhere to my right. Not close, not far, like someone pacing just out of sight. My training screamed at me, stay on the trail, wait for backup, call it in. But my hand wouldn't move to the radio. My legs carried me forward, deeper into the dark. I don't know how long I walked. Time does strange things at night. Branches scraped at my jacket. The beam of my flashlight carved pale shapes out of the trees. Every so often, the voice would murmur in my ear.
Down by the ravine. Past the old birch. You're almost there.
None of those are landmarks on any official map. But my feet found the route anyway, like some part of me had walked it many times in dreams. Eventually, the ground sloped down. I recognized the lay of it. This was near where they'd found her. The ravine. I killed my light. The dark pressed in close. Why here? Why bring me back to this spot? For a moment, there was nothing. No voice. Just the whisper of wind and the slow drip of water from somewhere below. Then, from the tree line ahead, a shape moved. Someone stood about 20 yards away, just outside the reach of the starlight. Not a shadow. Something with weight, height, shoulders, a head.
Cole?
It was Emma's voice. Perfect. Too perfect. Something was wrong with the way the figure held itself. Too still. Limbs are a fraction too long, head tilted at an unnatural angle, like it hadn't quite learned where those parts were supposed to go. Swallowing hard, testing. If that's you, tell me the name of the dog we had on our first search together. The shape didn't move.
You're cold. You should have brought that ugly orange hat. The one you always said made you look like a traffic cone.
I'd burned that hat in a campfire 5 years ago. Only 2 people knew that. I was one of them. The other was buried. I took 1 step back. The figure took 1 step forward. Silent. No crunch of leaves. No shift of weight.
Don't go.
The way it said it finally did it. Finally broke the part of my brain that wanted to find a human explanation. The emphasis was wrong. Like someone replaying a recording with the smallest delay, a fraction of a second out of sync with itself. My name sounded stretched, as if it didn't quite fit in its borrowed mouth. I raised my radio. Command, this is Ranger Cole. I have a visual on something at coordinates. The unit squealed with a burst of static. Then, through the noise,
Don't tell them about me.
I could feel the breath that wasn't there. I ran. Branches whipped against my face, my arms, my chest. The forest blurred into streaks of black and gray. I don't remember choosing a direction. I just remember the certainty that if I looked back, if I saw how close it really was, something in me would snap. The voice followed, not shouting, not even sounding out of breath, just drifting along beside me.
You always run at this part.
I burst back onto the trail without remembering how back into its proper shape. My radio crackled with overlapping voices. Command, another ranger, static. Cole, status. Cole, respond! I realized I was shouting something into the handheld. I don't know what. Maybe my own name. They found me at the trailhead 20 minutes later, leaning against my truck, hands shaking too hard to get the key in the lock. I filed a report. I made it sound like stress, an auditory misperception. I wrote phrases like likely vivid recall under fatigue and possible lingering emotional attachment to incident subject. Clinical words, safe words. I did not write something out there knew things only she and I knew. Something that wore her voice like a mask. A few weeks passed. The memory settled into something dull and sore, like a bruise that never fully heals. Then the hikers started calling. Not about her specifically, not at first. We got reports of a woman's voice off trail at night, someone calling for help from places where no one should be. Voices drifting up from ravines, always just far enough that you'd have to make a bad decision to go after them alone. One group came into the station pale and shaking, swearing they'd heard a woman crying out a ranger's name from deep in the tree line. Not help. Not I'm hurt. My name. They'd never met me. I hadn't given it. They left the park that night and never came back. We chalked it up as forest acoustics and stress response on the paperwork. We were running out of other phrases. I'd like to tell you I never went back to Blacktail at night after that. That I followed my own advice, stayed on trails, stopped listening when the trees wanted to talk. But I did go back. Once more. A few months later, after another long week of calls and idiots and paperwork, I drove out there again, alone, off shift, no radio, no backup. I told myself I just wanted to stand at the edge of it and convince myself it was just a strip of land with trees and rocks and water and nothing else. The sky was clouded, but bright enough that I didn't need a flashlight right away. The air tasted like snow was thinking about it. I walked to the first bend in the trail, stopped, listened. Nothing. No voice, no footsteps, no breathing that wasn't mine. I almost laughed, one of those nervous, stupid sounds your body makes to fill empty space. I turned to go, already rehearsing what lie I'd tell myself about closure. Then, from somewhere behind me, a woman shouted,
Hey, you're not supposed to be out here alone.
The words weren't scary. It was the tone that froze my blood. Bright, casual, teasing. Exactly like the first day Emma caught me climbing the fire tower without a harness. I turned slowly. No one on the trail, no one in the trees, just empty gray light and the faint sound of water far below. I stood there a long time, and then I did something I should have done months ago. I spoke to the empty air. I know you're not her. Whatever you are, you're not Emma. She's gone, and I need to let her go. The forest held its breath. For a moment, I thought I heard something, a sigh, maybe, a whisper of disappointment. But it might have just been the wind. Nothing answered. Nothing followed. I walked back to my truck, got in, and drove away. And I haven't been back to Blacktail at night since.